the 64th ranked team in the world, against the #1 team on the planet. 90 minutes could not settle it. Extra time could barely contain it. This is the night the smallest country in the history of the World Cup took Lionel Messi and the champions of the world to the absolute brink. 64 against #1. On paper, this should not even have been close. What happened in Miami will be told on these islands for 100 years. This is Cape Verde, 10 tiny islands off the western coast of Africa, around 500,000 people. This is their first World Cup ever, and before this summer, almost nobody outside those islands could find them on a map. Nobody gave them a prayer. And look at what they have done. They were drawn into a group with Spain, one of the favorites to win the whole thing. With Uruguay, a two-time world champion. With Saudi Arabia, 3 games, and Cape Verde did not lose a single one. They held Spain to a draw. They came from behind to draw with Uruguay. They shut out Saudi Arabia, unbeaten. And when the dust settled, this tiny island nation had finished second in the group, ahead of Uruguay, and become the smallest country by population ever to reach the knockout stages of a World Cup, which brought them here, to Miami, to the round of 32, to a date with Argentina, the reigning champions of the world, led by Lionel Messi, a man who has already scored more World Cup goals than anyone in history, and who came into tonight as the top scorer of the entire tournament. David had already made history just by showing up. Now David had to face Goliath. And for the first half hour, Goliath looked the part. Argentina came in waves. And in the 29th minute, of course, it was Messi who broke through, 1-0. And you could feel it. Here it comes. The dream is about to end. Except Cape Verde did not read the script. In the 59th minute, a man named Deroy Duarte stood up for the islands and struck back. The equalizer against the world champions, 1-1. 500,000 people and an entire diaspora scattered across the planet lost their minds. And then came the part nobody will forget. The Vozinha show. A 40-year-old goalkeeper, a journeyman who spent 20 years bouncing between clubs across Europe, stood in that goal like a brick wall. Argentina threw everything at him. Messi lined up free kick after free kick, the kind he has buried 1,000 times, and Vozinha said no, and no, and no again. 7 saves on the night, save after save to keep his island alive. 90 minutes could not separate them. The reigning champions of the world could not beat an island of 500,000 people. 1-1. Extra time. And understand what you are really watching here. This is not just an upset. This is the same story that Curaçao began earlier in this tournament. The sister island in the Caribbean that shares Cape Verde's blood, its history, and quite possibly its language. 2 specks on the map, born from the same ocean, refusing to know their place. Curaçao opened the door. And in Miami, Cape Verde tried to walk all the way through it, and then came a game that simply would not end. Argentina, rattled and desperate, poured everything forward in extra time, and in the 92nd minute, they finally went back in front, 2-1. Surely now the dream was over. It was not. 11 minutes later, Cape Verde did the impossible one more time. The 103rd minute, they equalized again, 2-2. The 64th ranked team in the world, level with the champions of the world, deep into extra time, still refusing to die. It took until the 111th minute. It took everything Argentina had. But the champions finally found the goal that settled it, 3-2. The final whistle, Argentina survive. Cape Verde go home, but do not you dare hang your heads. Cape Verde, in your very first World Cup, you scored twice on the champions of the world. You took Lionel Messi and the number one team on the planet to the 111th minute. The scoreboard says Argentina. Everyone who watched knows the truth. The smallest country in the history of the World Cup walked off that field in Miami, having earned the respect of the entire planet. Curaçao opened the door. Cape Verde kicked it off its hinges. And the world will never overlook these islands again. So remember this night. Remember these names. Because the dream did not die in Miami. It just found its next chapter. If you want to follow it with me, subscribe. This story is far from over.